Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. I'm going to show you what is arguably the greatest Sexton artillery game I have ever played. It's a monster butt kicker, and that is kind of an understatement. So it would be really helpful to me and possibly to others if you could leave a like for this video, because that would help spread the word across YouTube. And the more people that see this means the more that they're going to learn to do some of the things that you see me do in this video. Not everything, of course, but everybody's different. And when you watch a video of someone excelling, you never know what part of the excellence will transfer to yourself. Now, this one is artillery, but because of the way the game went, you'll learn some end of game strategy at the very least if you pay attention and are looking to become a better winner. Because one of the things that my dad always said was that you got to know how to win the game, whatever game you're playing. If it's tennis or soccer or basketball, doesn't really matter. Each of them are going to have specific things that will help you cash in a victory. And this is one of the lessons that's the most important, because it applies across all games. It doesn't matter what they are. If it's chess or Monopoly, you got to know how to win the game. And you start small, like tic-tac-toe, and work your way up. But you should always be looking to improve your execution of winning strategies and learn what will help you win in whatever game you're playing, under whatever circumstances you're faced with. This one will help you get the general idea, because you're going to see me execute a strategy at the end of the game. Now, the strategy is universally applicable in a broad sense, but it's a specific artillery strategy. But the key thing is, I recognized what was going on and adapted my play to the situation. And that will give you the best chance of executing a winning sequence, which I did in this game. Now, you can do this and still end up losing, but you're going to have a higher percentage of winning when you have chosen a proper strategy to implement, which is what happened. And I will show you the surprises that come up. And that's the thing. You're going to be surprised. So don't be surprised that you're surprised. Expect to be surprised and have a strategy set up so that when the surprise occurs, and believe me, it does right at the very end, I was ready, because I was anticipating what would happen if I get surprised. And that's the difference between the guy who wins and the guy who almost wins, is that the surprise happened. And when it happened, he didn't have much of a chance, because I was planning what would happen, where would a dangerous surprise occur. And that's the key. I anticipated where I might be surprised. So, lots of great stuff in this game. Killer stuff, actually. So let's get on with it, shall we? Oh, and make sure you tell your friends they need to watch this game too. So let's go. Now, in this game, I'm going to let you see what happens up front rather than wait to reveal it at the end, because I'm not joking when I say this is the best Sexton artillery game I've ever played. It's a monster. And you're going to see that yourself. Because look at these stats. I made over 1 million silver. Now this was during silver with interest. And that's how it happened. But I killed it on commander experience as well. So I was using boosters to get this situation because of the operation that was going on, etc. But in no way do boosters help you kick butt on the field. The boosters help you with the things you earn after the battle where you kicked butt on the field. And so, as you could see, I kicked butt on the field, and then I got paid. This is the highest earning Sexton artillery game I've ever had as well. The only time I ever broke 1 million. I got close last week, a few days before this one. 930,000 or whatever it was. It was a great game, but this one was the best. Welcome to the mines. Alright, so there's 4 people and 11 robots for both sides. And this is an all tier 3 match, completely fair. Which means they're in trouble. But if my team isn't any good, and spoiler alert, they're terrible, we could have problems. So as you can see right there at the south, there's 3 groups of guys. It's artillery time, and let's go get it. As an artillery ace, I'm going to tell you, all I need is to have guys maintain their lanes, take care of their obvious business, because that gives me time. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Now, one of the most important things you can do is eliminate enemy artillery on the first kill of the game. Jackpot. And if you give me time, I'm going to give you kills. It's just that simple. You can't give. That's 1. Oh, the enemy thresher is sniping. Well, let's see how that works out for you, buddy. Another important guy to kill. Boom, is the sniper for the second kill of the game. This game has started off in magnificent fashion for me. You can't give a good artillery player time, because he'll kill you. He'll just annihilate your team. So that's the deal. I'm just, doing shots of opportunity, looking at guys who are in positions where they can be killed with a relatively high percentage shot. Don't want to be crazy. Don't want to look for guys, that are going fast, for example, or hiding behind walls that would take an absolutely perfect shot to get them. I want to shoot guys that are exposed, preferably, damage as many of them as possible, kill as many as I can. But if you damage enough guys, you're going to score. You get paid for damage. Killing is great, and it looks good statistically. There's another one. But you really have to be getting damage. Here we go with another victim. Oh yeah! To have a tremendous impact. That's a tag. That's another kill. Gotcha. Boom! He's a goner. Now, another advantage is, as an artillery ace, I know where to go and I know where I'm at. And the place that I'm at, there's certain places I can score kills. So I'm looking for guys to be in those areas. He's toast. Like right there, I did a bunch of shots by the monastery, I guess is what it is. Some kind of religious building. You're toast, buddy. Nice try. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Now the thing I hadn't realized was that my guys have been dropping like flies while I've been doing, great damage and also killing. Like at this moment, I've killed 6 guys. But it's just me and this robot, and now he's gone against 5 guys, and now it's just me against 5 guys. Every guy you see out here by that monastery is just dog meat for my artillery, and they just may not be aware of it. You got to know where you have your shots, and man, I got shots over here. Sayonara, chump. So, first thing that came to mind is that, well, that's a Kolovanov's medal if I can kill them all. And spoiler alert, I'm really good at killing them all because all there was left was one sniper, and now he's dead. Ooh, got him. And that guy was their leading scorer. The most important guy I could kill after the first 2, really. And the rest were robots. So it was all robots. It was 4 robots and the sniper. I just killed the sniper. So now what I have to do is wait for these 3 robots. And this is the end of game strategy. Sometimes you want to move, sometimes you don't. In this situation, robots have Terminator accuracy, so I don't want to go out on the field. There you can see that guy right there. I'm going to kill them with my artillery's ability. I shoot a curveball, like a pitcher. I pitch a curveball and it goes downhill. They have to have straight line of sight shots on me. So I want to get as many as I can as they come to my base. Coming up from the water where I'm located, this is another prime killing zone, much like the monastery. This guy coming up through the water puts him in prime killing position. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Boom. Know your killing fields, man, I'm telling you. That was one of them. Here's another one. So I know I'm safest here. They're gotta come to my base anyway at some point. So I'm just gonna wait for them, and if they come to my base, I'll kill them. As you saw, I whacked those guys easily, including the sniper. You can't fake experience. You got to go out and get experience. And don't be afraid to take chances and learn. If you're learning, the chances you take to gain experience will pay off for you. Like here, I know all these shots.
Fatality. Outstanding.
Are relatively safe. That's why I've taken very minuscule damage. Now, we're down to 1-on-1, 50-50. Well, he's a robot, so the odds are even better than 50-50 for me. But the thing is, you got to look at the situation. What kind of robot are we facing? We're facing an S-35, Frenchie, medium. So, on open ground, his reload is better than mine substantially. So, I don't want to fight him on open ground if I can help it. I prefer to get him by waiting at my base, and we have 8 minutes and change. Now I'm going to wait at my base for a while, but I'm not going to wait for 8 minutes. Because a lot of times what happens is I'm waiting to see if this guy's going to show up. If he doesn't show up, that means he's probably wall humping. In fact, let's go see what he's doing. No, he's just wandering around. I know that he's here now after the game. This is where he surprised me. He's not wall humping, he's spinning in a circle. I've literally never seen this before. What a freak. I wondered why this guy never showed up. He's literally spinning in a circle, and this was my opportunity to check it out. Now, I could have done this anytime, but I don't care. I'm not going to go and sit, you know, at a 7-minute game. Look at this guy. Look at his tracks. He's leaving a donut. He's just going in a circle. I thought he was humping the wall like that rock, because they'll do that sometimes. Or they'll hump the other wall and rocks over here that I'm looking at. I wondered what this guy was up to. So now we know what he's up to. I left and went on patrol. I knew that my speed is good enough to get me to the hill, and if he ambushes me there on the ramp area, I'd have the ability to fight him advantageously. But I go to the top of the hill, and unfortunately where he's circling I can't see, because he's behind that rock. I'm looking right at the rock. He's behind that, and I can't see him. And so I was like, man, where is this freak? That's why I figured he's wall humping. Well, apparently we learned something new today, at least I did, is that there's a program section where the guy will just turn in a donut, which is the equivalent of wall humping. They're not moving towards you. Now, obviously, during the game, I don't know any of this, and I'm looking around going, man, did this guy go up the eastern side? Did he go over there to the south? Is he by his base? So these are all going through my mind. And what I want to do is I want to look for this guy first on the easiest possible places for me to shoot him as I pass those locations. So at this point I'm thinking he's wall humping, because geez, it's 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. I want to go over here and check to see. A lot of times they'll wall hump over here or get stuck, or sometimes just stand alone, but nothing here. Again, this was an elevated position to be tremendous for my gun. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for engagements that are going to favor my gun as much as possible. Again, I can't see him because he's right there on the other side of the big rock, and I just can't see that from where I'm located. And I can't stick my nose out over the cliff because it endangers myself. Here is where I get there it is right there. I got the what do you call it? Notification, the beep that he's available. I'm like, okay, good. I'm elevated. You're screwed, buddy. Yeah, I missed that shot. I'm retreating to maximize my curveball potential. He's still barely hitting me. So now I'm just going to wait, pop out, and bust him. Boom, dead. Ooh, just a bit outside. Oh yeah, baby, I got your range now. Got him! But this was all about formulating a winning strategy at the end of the game based upon the type of tank he was and the type of tank that I have. And that was a killer victory, obviously. This match is my high score for killing in the Sexton with 11 kills. But a new damage limit, so this is the highest damage I've done in the game, which was fantastic, especially during silver with interest. Okay, now we're back to see the stats and put this into a better context. Man, my team folded faster than Superman on laundry day. They were dropping dead at a rate that was just actually unbelievable. It started off well and then it just went down badly. But one of the key things that you should have noticed was that I was in a great location for artillery on the elevated plateau of Alpha 4. And what that allowed me to do was to have a base of operations. And when my team folded, it was 5-1. Well, I was in a great location and I was able to clean clock of 4 of those 5 guys from that position. And that's why it's so useful, is that, again, it gives me a position that favors the extended curvature of artillery shots, at that 50, 60 yard range. It curves quite a bit. And so I don't expose much of my tank while I'm drilling them. They're below me and they need a line of sight on my tank. So once I spot them, I can retreat back behind the invisible line where they can only see grass on the elevated plateau, and I'm drilling them because my gun can clear the grass and go down and curve to hit them. And that's what happened there. So that is a specific shot that artillery excels at. So if you're an artillery player, that shot is super beneficial, and you see why it's so beneficial, because 5-1, it almost felt unfair because I cleaned the clock of the sniper and then 3 of those robots and made it look like it was super easy, because when you practice your shots, sound like basketball. You practice your shots, they look easy. Steph Curry wasn't born that way to be a great shooter. He made himself a great shooter by practice. It's real simple. You don't get to be that good by accident. Well, it could be accident, but not what he does. What he does is not accident. It's actually preparation and execution of technical superiority. So that's what you want to do in whatever you're using. You want to practice your shots and learn what you can and cannot do, so that at the end of the game, 5 versus 1, you're looking at this going, well, I don't have a good shot to win this because, maybe the tank you're using doesn't support this kind of performance you're going to have. Well, in the kind of situation I was in, artillery is ideal in the hands of a master. You can't give this to, little Jimmy and expect him to cash. I taught this kind of stuff to my guys in games and they learned. And so one of the kids in my squad, Hayden, he's 12 years old. He executed one of these. He executed the same thing you saw on a different map under a slightly different situation. He executed a 10 kill Sexton game with a Kolobanov on his own. Now, I, joined him in his party. I was talking to him during the match. He told me about it, and then, I got the video from him and posted the video. It was just absolutely fantastic. This is very learnable for someone who's a good artillery player or is working on becoming a good artillery player. So what I did here is something that is transferable. I know I already transferred it to one guy who executed a 10 kill match with a Kolobanov's medal. He's the only other artillery guy I've seen with a 10 kill or higher artillery game with a Kolobanov's medal. Oh, I jumped the gun. Yeah, obviously 3,000 plus is an ace. And there's the Kolobanov's medal. Now, I've done this one other time with 11 kills and a Kolobanov's medal. But it's super hard. It's one of those things you can never plan this out. So, you do what you can, and whatever happens, happens. And for those of you who don't know, Kolobanov's medal, awarded to a player who stands alone against 5 or more enemy vehicles and wins. Jackpot! Some other good stuff. Demolition, blew that guy up, knocked out crews or modules, highest damage in the game, killed 2 or more guys that damaged you, run around, take hits, and kill 2 or more guys. And then the last one you see there is the Top Gun for killing 6 or more guys. So I killed 6 or more. Well, 6 and 5 more after that, so there you go. Scoreboard. My team didn't really do much. My sniper got 2, which was great, and that was it. The other ones were robots. They got 1 each. The rest of these guys did literal nothing. Or next to nothing, really. They just rolled out and died. And those 2 guys at the bottom were in a platoon together, and they were awful. Sorry. Fortunately for them, they were awful and they didn't get a loss. But they played like they deserved to lose. That enemy sniper that I killed, that guy had a great game, and he was the leading scorer of his team. So, this is, like I said, a killer game. But there's things that you can learn by going back and rewatching the combat. So, I can't tell you how happy I was to get 1 million plus in this game during the Silver with Interest. It was fantastic. I mean, the thing that was most pressing on my mind was I was trying to increase my maximum score, and I got almost 3,200, which was great. My previous high was like 3,000 and like 30 points of damage. I, got over 100 points more than that. So that 3,189 was fantastic. My new record in damage in this tank, which is awesome. Couldn't have happened at a better time, because with Silver with Interest and with the 5 times booster for the tank experience combined with a 2 times silver booster, you saw that monster damage plus a couple of boosters jackpotted over 1 million, 1.1 million silver, the most I've ever made in any artillery match ever. So as far as I'm concerned at this point, this is the #1 artillery game that I have played, and luckily for me, doing YouTube, I'm able to make a recording of it so that we'll have this for future reference. But for other players watching this like yourself, knowing what to do is super key. Figuring out how to win the game. Now, one of my professors explained something, and he would ask us questions, and then no one would ask a question of him. And his response was really quite amazing and very universal. He says, look, I've been doing this for, at the time, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years, whatever. It's advanced chemistry. And he said, well, he was a PhD, all right? And he said, I don't do this job, because they pay me a lot of money. Because they don't pay you a lot of money. He goes, I do this job because I'm good at it, and I get to play in a multi-million-dollar laboratory at the university. And he said, I'm so good at it, and one of the things that he learned and he passed on to us was that when you really become excellent at what you're doing, you make it look easy. So if you go back in this game and look at what's happening, the thing you need to recognize, and I tell this to people, and if they believe me, fine. If they don't believe me, fine. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you the way it is. In artillery, now it is great to kill 11 guys, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. But to win in artillery, it's not how many you kill, it's which ones you kill. You got to kill the key guys, whatever they may be. That's one of the things. You got to figure out who's representing the most threat on the field. And I didn't get a chance to kill that sniper until the very end, as the numbers dwindled. I never saw him when I was looking. I mean, he played a terrific game, as he should. He should stay as invisible as possible, which he did that until he tried to come to my base thinking he was going to get me. Well, he was completely wrong. Now, the difference is the sniper, and he was having a great game, and that does affect your decision making sometimes. He was having a great game. And snipers have an engagement advantage over artillery. They can see the target and fire the shots at their target faster than artillery can do the same thing. So he has an engagement advantage on artillery. So he was banking perhaps that he was going to come and kill me at the base, because a lot of players, and especially when they're good at what they're doing, and he was clearly good at what he was doing, they have no concern for the skill of artillery. Well, that cost him, because he didn't know I'm better at artillery than he is as a sniper. It's just that simple. But normally that's not the case. Normally the very good sniper, which he is very good, is better than a very good artillery. I mean, normally he is better than the artillery guys he faces. Not on this map today. Well, when I say today, I mean meaning the day of the combat, which was like 2 days ago. That was Monday night. So that wasn't the case. Now, I don't know that to be the truth. That's the probability of what happened. He just might have not known where I was, or made another mistake, whatever it was. But I zapped him. But I was prepared to zap him, because up where I was at is a horrible place for a sniper to try and get me. He needs to have people, preferably, moving to attack, exposing me, and then shooting me from another location. But all he had was robots, and that's one of the weaknesses of robots, is you cannot coordinate the robot attack. So he got hammered, because I knew exactly what it was going to take to win, and I was prepared to wait as long as it took. I waited there, cleaned out everybody except that one donut driving S-35. Man, it was a real shocker. I did not know that that's what that guy was doing. I assumed he was just a wall humper, but it's okay. Learn something new if you give yourself a chance. So I guess that's basically, all I had to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed that match. If you're an artillery player, I hope you learned about artillery and got a little bit of a better insight, like I said, it ain't how many you hit, it's which ones. Now, if you don't have a choice, you hit what you can hit, okay? So sometimes you hit what you can hit, sometimes you see certain targets, 2 or 3, and you go, well, which guy do I need to shoot? You need to shoot the guy that's the most dangerous in the moment. Could be a heavy tank, could be a light tank, could be a sniper, could be the other artillery. It's going to differ always, and this is the thing. Like I said, you cannot fake experience. So you need to go and get experience by playing, preferably in a platoon to have people protecting your position. I did this by myself, no platoon, which you saw on the end of game screen. I was by myself doing it all. Now, one of the weaknesses of having a platoon is that you're not generally going to score 3,000 damage in a platoon, because you're going to have dudes, hopefully, that are good, and they're going to be alive, and they're going to get some of this, you know, they're going to be eating some of the damage you would get. So there's a give and take. If you want 3,000 damage, you're going to have to be by yourself, because to get this kind of damage, I was by myself every time. But you want to build experience, and you want a platoon for that, because that'll help you work on your business instead of having to constantly look over your shoulder for guys charging you, etc. That's why I was on the Alpha 4 plateau, is that I'm not going to get charged very easily. So, like I said, artillery guys, hopefully you learned some artillery tips there. But any player can look at the situation and go, okay, I need to have a strategic plan to execute as much as possible. And it will depend upon your skill and the type of tank you're driving. Okay, so recognize the situation, do the best you can, and then go back in your game and figure out what went right and what went wrong. The more you can figure out after the fact, the better you're going to be for the next game or the next event like the one you saw here. You don't just roll out and be an ace. It doesn't work that way. You have to go and get experience and pay attention and try to improve every game. It's not likely for me to improve at my level of artillery, but the goal for me is to do better than I did before, which, you know, keeps you in a mental frame of mind to be constantly trying to do your best instead of getting lazy and allowing your performance to drop because you don't want to do the things that get you where you want to be or where I have gotten. It's not easy to do what I do, and that's why I'm showing this to you, is so that you guys can learn whatever you can learn from this procedure. Because like I said, I've already imprinted it on another one of my dudes, and it was fantastic to watch him execute like, well, he was like a junior me. He was awesome in that game. Just absolutely awesome. A 12-year-old kid was just fantastic in artillery on that match, and it was really great to see it. I heard him, we were talking, and he was telling me what was going on because I'm listening, and it was just fantastic as I was, you know, envisioning it in my mind, and then he showed me the video, and he just did a fantastic job. So you can learn this, you can get better, but you gotta have to try, and you're gonna have to learn from those around you. So hope you enjoyed it. I had a great game. It was great to have you here, you know, watching the video. So thanks for doing that. Tell your friends, that way they can learn about this, like and subscribe potentially. I got plenty more stuff to do, and this video is taken a lot of work to complete, so I'm glad to have finished it. And I look forward to seeing you guys in another video real soon. Take it easy.